was Gordie Howe to Danny Gare?
Well, he was a lot of things. I got to have the pleasure to play against him. Some nights it wasn't as pleasurable when you played against him, but also had the opportunity to sit next to him in an All-Star game, my first All-Star game, Sean, and it was Gordie Howe's 26th All-Star game. And he was just a tremendous player, but probably more of a tremendous person off the ice. He's just a gracious individual. And it was in Detroit that year, and it was crazy. I mean, the ovation he got the first time back in Detroit was awesome.
How unique of a player and a person was he during your time, and then even afterward?
Well, I think, I think he started in the 40s. He played 5 decades, so it tells you a lot about his stamina, the way he could use his strength and power, on the ice. I mean, I watched him growing up on Hockey Night in Canada, like we all did, and he was the type of guy that, took the game in his own hands when he needed to. He was a skill set for scoring. He could do that. He could play tough, physical brand of hockey. If there was anybody I would compare him to, maybe in modern day, would be like Mark Messier type of a player. But tough competitor, but off the ice, it was like night and day. He was like, he wouldn't turn down an autograph. He was so humble, quiet individual, but a great person,
And you go from Buffalo to the Detroit
Yeah.
organization, and you're a captain for the Red Wings just like Hal. And he must have been around the dressing room and around that team so much. What do you remember from your encounters with Gordie as a member of the Red Wings organization?
It was funny because prior to the Ilitch family buying the team, and I was Mike Ilitch's first captain, he was not allowed to come to the arena when the Norris family had they kind of blackballed him out of the arena. And when Ilitch came in and opened up his arms and said, "Gordie, you come back," and they made a private stall for him. He had his own stall in the dressing room, still has it now. And he would love to come down and just be around the guys. Just one of those, just loved the camaraderie, loved hockey in general, and it was great to see him around because I mean he had such a presence that every time you saw him, it was just like, there's so many guys in the NHL that have presences like Gretzky or Messier, as I mentioned. You just know they're in the room, and the respect factor was amazing.
If you were to build your Mount Rushmore of hockey, he would definitely be on it. When you're talking about forwards all time, given when they played, who they played against,
Right.
and how they changed the game, we're talking about forwards. Where does he rank?
Well, he has to be at the top. I mean, as you mentioned, different eras, different times. And think about it, back then it was original 6, and that was a tough league to play in. I mean, they were the builders of the game. They were the ones that we all followed. So Gordie certainly was the one that I would put up there amongst guys like Beliveau, Richard, back in the day. An amazing, like I said, power forward, as they call him today. But he'll be missed. I mean, it's a sad day for hockey, and it's just it's tough on the game right now. But what a legacy to leave, I should say, and live that he gave to everybody that was around the game. I remember the first game we were in Buffalo playing, and our Hartford came into town, and we were fighting them for a positioning in the Adams division, the old Adams division. And I remember trying to go at him in the corner, and he came up with an elbow and caught me right underneath my chin, and it was like not called, but I was like, I get gagging like this, and he kind of looked at me and skated away because, he was sneaky that way. He got away with stuff because he was Gordie Howe, but you respected him. I mean, I always respected him, but it was just something that he always did. Didn't matter who he was up against. He wanted to win, and he had a little bit of a grind to him on a tough side of him.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can imagine growing up, idolizing maybe, or
Yeah.
definitely admiring Gordie Howe, getting an elbow from Mr. Hockey. You can't be upset at that, right?
No, I wasn't upset. I mean, it caught me on the Adam's apple, and I'm like I said, but Gordie Howe is like, hey, I got elbowed by Mr. Elbows. I mean, that was something that I guess a trademark that I'll remember forever.